Okay, so welcome back to the Sunday race-off. It was my mistake. It's an 8-lap race instead of a 10-lap race. So these EVOs will be around 20 minutes then it's going to be. So this is going to be very interesting to see what they can do as we await the arrival of those red lights. We know how quick these EVOs are. We know how aggressive they can be, how much they can be thrown around, but who can drive them to the max? We've got 3 red lights. Now we have 4. The revs go crazy, and now they're racing a slow start from Ragster. And of course, starting on the outside line is not where he wants to be. Bellina stormed through the middle of the field there after starting in P9, but Cortese is now in the lead. Exactly what we said here, it helps to start second. At Bruno, you start on the inside line when you start from second, and Ragster's going to have to settle for second best as he goes through turn 1. The rest of the field going very wide there. In fact, that's NASCAR B13, Alex Sedian all taking a much wider route going through turn number 1. But as they come down straight in towards turn number 2, they've got to be arguably very close together right now. They're almost 3 wide there. B183 battles off Luke Sky, number 80. Up the inside, and it's going to be... Oh, there's contact, big contact there! And B183 is off. He's flipped it. Luke Sky's upside down. And Xedian's taken impact as well. StreetX is beached in the gravel. He's trying to get that going. He's got a restart coming, apparently. Now, that was a big mistake indeed. So, luckily, we'll get a restart. So we are back then for the actual EVO race. You believe you've got the race restart due to there just being almost a red flag because of the amount of incidents which happen. Now the drivers have to be careful. As I said, they know how much they can throw the EVOs around. They need to be careful. But as we get this race restarted then, let's just wait and see who can get off the line quickest. A big jump there by Luke Sky, and this time Ragster gets off much better off his line. So it's really been a blessing for him so far. And as they charge down into the first corner, Cortese still on the inside line, proving to be vital. Cortese does the exact same as he did in race number 1, and that has earned him a tremendous lead so far. Look at B13 there as well, trying to capitalise on any error. Cortese goes wide. Rags is going to try and pull around the outside line now. Again, I can't really see that working though through there. Very difficult manoeuvre to try and get that one. Look at B13, they're going 3 wide. Surely not, in the very early stages. And Rags has to turn away, and that has lost him valuable time, valuable positions. He drops down to P7. He tries to make his way back through the field. It's been an unfortunate start for Ragster. So we thought it was a blessing at first, but the restart turned out to be a curse. As Ragster is struggling now, he's going to push his way back through. Past the drivers like now, it's key. And I don't think that he's got the base to do it just yet. He's got to be very, very conservative as to what happens next. He can't be making any silly errors right now. Ragster's a bit of a slide there, I think, from one of the drivers up in front. Now, I believe that may have been Malox. I'm correct, or it may have been... That was Luke Sky 80. I think he's got a little bit loose up in front as now his key tries to pull away as soon as he can. And they're still going to feel very close together as they come towards the end of the first lap. We've only got a few more corners left to go before we call the end of the first lap here. Cortese still in a very prominent position at the front of the field. We've got B13 second, as we said. NASCAR 24 fan is there holding on very gracefully in 3rd position at this stage. And there's just one massive line as they begin to climb the hill in towards the final couple of corners. Great racing by the entirety of the field so far, it has to be said. Cortese, though, has got the most of them as they come towards the end of lap number 1. To Cortese from B13 as they go up towards the penultimate corner into the Watkins Glen section of the circuit, as I like to call it. The Brno circuit that has challenged so many people over the years to do their very best and try to push them to their over limits. And the circuit situated, of course, in the Czech Republic, right down in the heart. I think it's actually by Zim, that part of the Czech Republic area. The Brno circuit in the largest city in the Czech Republic, I believe. And the drivers really feeling that kind of atmosphere here today as NASCAR 24 fan He's trying to get himself up into P2 past B1386, but he can't quite get anything to go at this stage. He needs to be careful. 6 laps to go. You've got a long road ahead of you. You can't be making any silly errors. Wait for the opportunity to come to you. Although I think NASCAR is actually trying to push out a bit further on. He's trying to get past B13 sooner rather than later. Let's wait and see how this one pans out then. So down the little straight they come, and I still think at the moment it's going to be a very big move by NASCAR at the inside. And oh, that's almost snapped in half there as B13 defends heavily. And now look at Exedian joining the battle then because of the carnage which has kind of ensued behind them and the drivers which have able to just battle away over the past 10-20 minutes or so. Now it's Keyser, Ragster, Luke Sky, Malox, Bolinas, Street X and Crash HMF all still joining away, but Ragster up to P6. We know what he's capable of. He was our pole sitter at the start of the race, but a bad start has sent him down 5 positions. As they come towards the end of lap number 2, he currently sits in 6th position and he tries to more hold off Luke Sky. Is he then attack? Now it's Key, and that's Exedian going wide up in front. And Max trying to be very careful. And now he's got to take a look. It's a massive gap. Exedian's taking 2 cars in one corner. Surely they're 3 wide coming up the hill, and Exedian got the best launch I've seen in a while coming out of that corner. That's through turn 11, up into turn 12, and Exedian's still on the outside, swoops across. And that is how racing is done. I tell you what, Exedian has made a very good impact here today. He's been holding on 2nd position for a while. He's got a brilliant train behind him of drivers swarming around him, desperately trying to pass. Look at that, let's count. There's Exedian. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers, really, who are all lined up directly behind him. So Exedian's got, well, his daily word pressure can impact the driver quite a lot, but I think Exedian right now has got pressure times 12. He's got so many cars coming up behind him. He's got cars as well, which are, you know, big names here in a Sunday race. So you've got Rags today, you've got NASCAR 24 fan, he's trying up the inside, he's right now, it's Key, and it's happened again. 3 cars have spun, and somehow they'll get through alive, with only 2 cars taking minor damage. Ragster's got back into 2nd. How on earth has Ragster come back through that into P2? It was P6, he's racing. I would love to see an onboard there as we get a replay after the race or something. That would have been a brilliant view with Ragster. Absolutely tremendous how he's gone through that field to get himself up back into 2nd place. You do not see a driver go full speed through a crash and not take damage. Ragster did that to perfection, I think. Exedian's dropped back to P5 now, battling with Malox for P6. And those guys side by side at the moment. Delina, Street X, NASCAR fan and Crash all actually had the opportunity to catch the rest of the field after the big shot we saw earlier on in the lap. But Cortese is going to be seemingly unaware of it. He's up into P1 at the moment, 3.9 seconds clear of the rest of the field. And he really has done an amazing job so far. It's got to be said, he's done a brilliant job. And he's able to find himself well up in front, 3.9 seconds. Let's take a look at sector times as well as they come across the start-finish line. Let's compare lap times done by everyone in the field. So, race leader, Clean Air, G. Cortese does a lap time of a 2:29.1. Ragster in Clean Air does a 2:29.5. He's not that much slower. 2:30 by Luke Sky, 33.31. So, Miles going quickly, 34, 33, 37, 32s. And it's all pretty much spiral downwards there. As you can see that trend of the further the car back, the slower the times, with the exception of Malox and Exedian, who both drivers pushing very hard after losing their positions. But Exedian back up into P4, who's done a great job to recover from the spin earlier on. But Ragster, 4.4 seconds back. We're approaching the halfway mark in the race. What can he do from here then? Has he got what it takes to really bring himself back into the forefront of the action to get himself in the heart of perhaps a race victory? And just taking a look at the gaps as well, seeing if it has actually decreased. I don't think it has. I think it's stabilised around 4.4 seconds at this stage. Ragster 2.1 in front of Luke Sky as they come around halfway through the lap. And he's got to be careful though, because that train again is starting to build. We've got Exedian, Malox is there, and then look at this. Now it's Key, Belinas and NASCAR 24 fan. All guys getting very close together. Street X is there as well. Crash not too far away. But B13, he was looking so competitive earlier on. We thought he was going to have an amazing race here today. We thought he was definitely going to get a top 5. Finds himself all the way down at the moment in P11. So his race really has not gone to plan so far. He needs to try and get himself back at the field as soon as he can. As Malox really tries to attack Exedian now, but Exedian's got other plans and tries to plan more of an assault route past Luke Sky 80. Luke Sky doing a good job at being able to hold him off as they come in towards the penultimate corner for the 4th time today. Exedian now cannot quite get that slipstream to work. Will he move to the inside? Yes, he will. Backs out of it. Trying to move through that corner is so risky. You have to be so confident that you're going to get the move done, get the power on ridiculously early as you come past the apex. And now Malox has just been able to cruise right up to the back of these cars, and that's made it a 3-way battle for P3. Luke barely able to hold on as Exedian, surely going to attack him towards turn 1. And he really is all over the back of him. So Malox, you've got to try and keep an eye. He's in probably, I'd say, he's in the best position right now. As Exedian attacks again, and a bit of contact, he's off track. You have to get that back anyway. I'll tell you what, I would not want to be in Exedian's shoes, because I've said this so many times before. He has to think about attacking Luke Sky. He has to defend against Malox. All trying to balance the fact that your own pace as well. You have to be careful. The slightest error, Malox is going to take it from you. And Exedian right now, trying to go around the outside. He's going to cut back underneath, surely. He's definitely going to try it, and not quite through there. He's doing everything he can, though. And let's just take a look at the cars behind as well. Now it's Key is actually gaining on them a little bit, as is NASCAR fan, as is Belinas. So the EVO field really strengthening up here as the race wears on. Now Exedian trying to come back round the outside again here today. Not quite again. He's trying his best, and this guy's gone a bit deeper now. Exedian goes back up the inside. That's the move he wanted, and that's the move he's got. He's waited long enough. However, look at Luke Sky though. He's still on the inside line. He has to give room. Luke Sky goes too deep, surely. Exedian uses a cheeky bit of curve and will be on the outside. They're still side by side as they come up the hill, when I think Exedian's going to have way more top speed coming down. Drag race up, and I think Exedian's got it. Yes, he does. But Luke Sky is able to just about cling on to it. That's a bit wide through the final corner as we take a look at the rest of the drivers who are still wrestling amongst themselves at this stage. You've got B13, who's got himself back up into P10, so he's no longer last, he's up to P10. Crash HMF though, giving him a real run for his money there as they come down the main straightaway once again. However, B is able to just get it away a little bit quicker, get on the throttle a bit. Let's watch Luke Sky once again now trying to come back against Xedian, and these drivers are really not showing any signs of letting up today, are they? Let's try and take a look. Luke Sky at the inside, very late manoeuvre there, it's not going to work I don't think. No, Xedian's easy able to cover that line. So Luke Sky and Xedian still going very nicely, as we say, at this stage. Oh, and a big moment there. And Mallox almost got his wooden cheeky nose through there. You can't ignore that at all. Mallox is definitely there. And I'm just really trying to keep an eye on what our leader's doing as well. Cortese's actually extended the gap up to 5.6 seconds since we last checked on it. So Ragster has dropped away a little bit, unfortunately. So I think his little bid for the race win maybe he's drawn to a hole, but he's still pulled away 4.4 over Xedian. And the fact that Xedian's battling with Luke Sky and Mallox is only going to help his situation. So Ragster's looking very good to take P2. It's not the victory you would have hoped for after starting from the first place on the grid, but I'm sure he'll be very happy to take second place. As Xedian, Luke Sky and Mallox still go hard there, and Mallox going wide, but as you say, you know, Ragster, considering the circumstances, will be elated with P2 because he didn't exactly have the easiest race start. The race got restarted, and he was able to, he dropped all the way down to P6, and then he still got himself back up into P2. So it's been a recovery drive from the get-go for poor Ragster, but he's done himself great justice. He crossing the line to start the penultimate lap in second position. And again, now it's Key and NASCAR fan as well. Now, what's happened to NASCAR fan? He's way down the order, unfortunately. And as they head in towards turn number 1 for the first time, NASCAR fan up the inside. Not going way too far away there, I think. Although Luke Sky and Xedian looking very strong. However, the battle seems to have simmered down a little bit since we last checked up on it. Luke Sky not quite able to find himself alongside, although he is now. Xedian's taken not enough throttle at all. Luke Sky snuck up the inside. The ultimate opportunistic move there. They're still going side by side in the run downhill, and I think Xedian has to power it round. Luke Sky's obviously going to brake later. I think Xedian knows that. And he's trying, and Xedian just about sweeps across. Gee, that was very close. Our heart was in my mouth then. I thought that was going to end in certain. Again, swiping across that front end. Xedian getting very aggressive on defending now. He's really turned it up a notch. And now this guy coming back up the inside of Xedian again, but Xedian able to get way more throttle. Always a problem passing into that corner. The outside line will always carry a lot more throttle. And it's obviously going to allow you to get more speed as you approach the top of the hill. And let's just see what Cortese's doing. Oh, it's actually come down a bit. This isn't over, I don't think. I would say normally give it any other circuit, you know, you've got yourself a 1.5 minute lap, that this race could well be signed and sealed. But with a circuit like Brno, where you've got 2 minutes to find 5 seconds, I don't see why Ragster can't challenge for it. Let's see what it is when he crosses the line. 2:28.8 that time round. Okay, has improved back again. I thought Ragster had a much quicker second sector, but he lost the time in the third. But on the final lap then, let's see just what Cortese can do from here. And look at Exedian, we've missed that battle. I've been focusing on our leader. Exedian under a lot of pressure right now as Luke Sky tries to come back up the inside. And he can't quite let it go. Look at Malox as well. Maybe he's going to have a factor to play in this. Luke Sky again. Exedian still struggling. Luke Sky's got it. Luke Sky's got through, finally. Exedian bites back, though, with a vengeance. And he tries to get back up the inside. And that was never going to work. He's stuck on the outside line. I'm going to try and cut back underneath. And I don't think it's going to work. Exedian's got to be very careful now. Malox is there as well. Look at now, it's Kia NASCAR fan. Well, NASCAR fan has drifted, actually. So I don't think that's going to be much of a factor in this one. And Exedian again now really looking like he's going to be perhaps in a bit of a stronger place as he tries to come back into the final sector. As long as he can cut underneath, he may, just may, get the running knees, but then saying otherwise he would have done it. Oh, he's hit Luke Sky, no way! He's hit Luke Sky in the final lap. He bumps it back in the right direction. And he does not gain an advantage, so that won't be an issue given surely. He's going to try and rat on the outside though, and cut back on the, he's really searching, that's his Malox. He's carried a lot more throttle there then. A lot more throttle indeed as they come up towards the final couple of corners. Exedian has to be careful, but let's take a look at what Cortese does then. So Cortese got to cross the start-finish line to win the EVO race at the Skill Quant, week number 36. He beat his own, he's amazed at that. Our pole sitter Ragster recovers to P2. Third place is going to be Luke Sky, surely they're still dueling away. But I think Luke Sky's going to get it. Exedian pulls out. And Exedian can't quite do it. Luke Sky gets it. Exedian fourth. Malox fifth. Sixth for now is Key. 7th, NASCAR fan. 8th place, Bolinas. 9th, Street X. 10th is B13. And 11th, Crash HMF. Wow, I'm out of breath after that. That was absolutely phenomenal. And don't forget, now we have the 900 to 1000 Squill Quant of the BMW race coming up very shortly, so be sure to go and race in that one, guys, or stick around and watch the broadcast. But from myself, Liam Jenkins, and all the EVO drivers here today, thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back shortly.